Hey guys, I'm Tasha from Travel and Tash, and today I'm going to talk about my favorite city, one of my favorite cities that I've come across. Now, I've traveled in North America, I've traveled in Asia, and I've traveled in Europe, and I'd say that I've been to quite a few cities, and so what I plan to do is I plan to make a series on my channel talking about my favourite cities that I've visited and the elements about those cities that I really like. And so today I'm going to talk about Vitoria, which is the capital of the Basque country in Spain. Now, I just finished publishing an article on my website, travelandtash.com, and I wrote an article called Discover Beautiful Vitoria. And so Vitoria is very, very fresh in my mind, and I was also there just over a month ago. And it happens to be one of those cities that I regularly go to because my family live there. Now, the reason why I like Vitoria, there are numerous reasons. I think that one of the main reasons is that it's not particularly touristy. It's one of those places where you actually see Spanish people just hanging out with Spanish people and doing their thing, and it's an opportunity to just enjoy being enveloped in Spanish culture without you hearing English, every few steps, which is the case when you go to the Costa del Sol. When you go to southern parts of Spain, particularly the Costa del Sol, Andalusia, places like Barcelona, which are far more international. Vitoria, on the other hand, is there's just not so many tourist attractions, and therefore, for that reason, the Spanish people are left in peace, and going there and just hanging out with my family is just a real getaway for me that I really, really enjoy. So, few tourists there. Another thing that I really like is the calles Romanas, the Roman streets, and the casco viejo, or the old part of the city, which is located near La Virgen Blanca, the central plaza in the middle of the city. Las calles Romanas are beautiful because the streets are cobbled, like they were I think they were built in the medieval time period, and the streets are narrow and winding, and they have sometimes you'll see like caskets with flowers hanging above. That reminds me a little bit of the Trastevere area in Rome, where films have been made, recorded there, and it's very, very scenic. Really, you've got apartments there that are about 3 to 4 stories high. The streets are narrow, and one of the nice things is also that the paths are, some of them are steep, some of them go up, some of them go downhill. You come across water fountains, and as I was walking through these, like, my mother would tell me about some of the stories, like, this is where we would drink in the fountain, and this is where we'd play when we were kids, and she would tell me the stories as we would go through El Casco Viejo, which for me, I guess, gives me more attachment to it, more significance, because I know that these places are important to my mum, and also me and my siblings have been coming there since we were teenagers, that I remember. So not only that, but El Casco Viejo has a lot of murals, a lot of beautiful street art that has been painted all over that area. And so you'll just be walking along, and not only do you see these gorgeous buildings that are photogenic in themselves, but and also doorways of wood that really thick wood, gorgeous. You wonder how old are these? Are these 200 years old? The kind of thing that I usually see when I visit the village in Spain, in Valladolid, and Anyway, so the beautiful murals that you see as you meander through the casco viejo. Another thing that I really like about it is that during the weekends, so on Fridays and Saturday evenings, particularly, you've got all of the Spanish people just hanging out there, having drinks, having tapas in the bars, and there's a couple of streets that are particularly popular that both branch off of La Virgen Blanca Plaza, the plaza there, and it's just such a wonderful Spanish environment, and it's just all right there, and it's for me, I just really love being a part of that. And so another thing, parks. There's a park near my mother's place. It's Parque del Norte. It was called Parque del Norte. It's now had a new name applied. It's Parquea Florida, which is gorgeous and huge, and they have bailes, dances for like older people as well. Anyway, lots of green in the city, and I really like that. That's something that I really miss about my current location here in Seoul, is that there isn't enough green, there's not enough parks here. And then another thing that I really like about Vitoria is that you see glimpses of old Spain here as well. And I'm talking about like the Basque, northern part of Spain. You see, particularly when you see the old folks, like the old boys with their hats on and their walking sticks, and then you see people in the bars and they're drinking, and they're drinking using these drinking vessels that are usually glass, that have like a snout that I guess to Westerners, to a lot of, let's say, British people would think of a teapot when we look at it, but it's interesting because people use it to drink, and you just drink out of the snout. And that's I haven't really seen that kind of thing elsewhere. I've only really seen that in northern Spain, particularly in the Basque region. I can't remember if I've seen it in Santander, in different parts of northern Spain, near the Cantabria coast, but that real element of ancient Spain, I really, really like that. Anyway, those are my reasons for loving Vitoria in particular. Thank you so much for watching this. If you like my content and you want to hear more in this series that I've just begun, talking about my favourite cities across the world that I visited, hit the bell button and subscribe to my channel. Thank you so much for watching. Take care. Bye.